Why no one should own AskVoat by Ganesha Hunt. So, who am I? I'm a long-time Redditor. I've been on there for a while. I'm very free speech and non-hate. I don't really hate anyone or try to spread hate on the internet. I'm a moderator on Vote for a few subverses. For example, Agario on the left, that I created the CSS for and created, and Borderlands, which I am a mod of, and I created the CSS for that one too. There's a few others like Boviday, but I'm not going to get into that. So what is AskVote and why does it matter? I would consider AskVote right now to be the heart of Vote. It has over 46,000 people, or at least accounts, on the subverse, and it is quite simply one of the most unique and amazing subs I have come across ever. There's just so much new dynamic material all the time, a wide variety of topics, open-ended questions, and intellectual thought that I just love seeing coming from something thought-starved as Reddit. It's also a huge default sub, which is very important to note because a lot of new accounts being made will have easy access to the sub, and there's just a ton of people on it. So note that. So what do I mean by own? Okay, here we're looking at the levels of moderation for a subverse. When you create a subverse, you get level 1, the level 1 clearance level, which is no restrictions on anything you can do currently on Vote with your subverse. This ranges from CSS to the sidebar to adding new moderators and banning people. This is what I mean by owning. Level 2 is what most mods will be on the popular subverses. It's the second clearance level. They are able to access most subverse settings, for example the CSS and the sidebar, but they can't add more moderators and they do face a few more restrictions. So, wait, doesn't that mean someone owns it now? Yes, someone does own it now, and that user is KVA. However, this person supports free speech in pretty much the same manner I do. He says he runs it in a detached manner, and he believes in Vote's right to free speech without censorship, and that he doesn't meddle with submissions or comments, even if they're not questions. I find this very admirable and really awesome that he has this viewpoint. So let's move on. Who is u/she? u/she is a really cool user. She is also currently a mod of AskVote. She has, in the past, some of her comments are easily some of the best I've seen on Vote, and she seems to really care about the community. However, she does seem to be a little more social justice warrior-y, feministy kind of than the average user. I'm not going to point fingers or accuse. You can go through her profile or whatever if you want yourself. However, she had made a post a couple days ago requesting ownership of AskVote, meaning level 1 moderation. Now, this is a really bad idea for a lot of reasons, and that I'll go into. But first of all, her account is only 2 months old. Mine is too. But here, let me go into the reasons for why this is a terrible idea. Okay, does this sound familiar to you? A social justice warrior kind of person goes into a giant default sub and slowly adds rules and regulations. This is exactly what happened with Reddit. Reddit started as a very free speech open website where people could just talk about whatever they wanted, and it was quite simply beautiful. However, over time, these social justice warrior kind of people slowly started adding restrictions. They began gaining power. They became moderators on large default subs, slowly but steadily, and this led to things like censorship and like extremely strict site rules and things like shadow bans are not probably not their fault, but things like shady AMAs and vote fuzzing, I'm sure are side effects of this giant push, this giant attack on free speech that happened to Reddit. Here's a prime example. Off My Chest. Off My Chest, I used to visit sometimes, was a place just for people to talk about things that were bothering them, and right underneath it are the current rules. And I'm just gonna, you can just read that, form your own conclusions, think about it, and I have, and it just seems so anti-free speech, so anti what Reddit used to be about, and this really saddens me, which is part of the reason why I made this video. Okay, so what are the community's thoughts on giving the ownership of a huge sub like this, an amazing sub, to this person? They pretty much say no. If you look on the left, that is the comment score for the subverse request of AskVoat, made by her, and it's gotten 10 likes and 40 dislikes, meaning most people think it's an awful idea. I do too, of course, and they simply won't support it if logically come to the same conclusions I have, that could be the first step on a very slippery slope. On the right, you'll see comments from a thread detailing that was discussing whether or not she should be allowed to have ownership on AskVoat. Most of them say no. Those are just the top 3 comments. I'll be providing links and evidence for everything I say in the description, so please look at that if I'm not just making things up. Also, so now that you kind of understand what's going on, what can you do about it? Whether you disagree doesn't matter. With me, it doesn't matter. Just please make your voice heard. Once again, I really support free speech. So whatever you think, just go out there and share it. Message the mods. Don't spam them, please. But just message them like maybe once and explain to them how you feel. Comment on the thread that was created regarding the transfer of the sub. But please don't spam or harass anyone. That won't get anywhere. That'll probably get you banned. There's no reason to do that. So what am I going to do about it? I'm actually going to be applying for level 2 mod status on AskVoat. If voters support me, if they think I would be a good mod, I will make another video outlining the reason for that. I just believe there should be a balance. Aside from that, thank you for watching, and I will be providing links once again. The link to this slideshow will also be in the comment, so you can take a look at that. Feel free to comment on the video, on Vote, on YouTube, doesn't matter, I'll be checking both. And I would love to see some other video responses, that would make me really happy. I'm definitely looking forward to y'all's responses, and thank you for watching.